Okay, so now we started testing a few materials, but we also want to be able to see the material to become as realistic as possible. What we do is we select the pattern piece that we want, and you should have always this blue folded material with a thick white line, and then you know it has added thickness. But you also have to go on the right to the property editor, and here where you see add thickness rendering, you can add a value, for example 2.5, enter. And now if you look on the side and you simulate, you see that the material is not flat anymore. When it's like this, you see on the top, you see that the left one and the center and the right one are not the same thickness. The left one is thicker. Let's test it again. I stop my simulation, I click on the second one, and here I will add 10, which is much thicker. Okay, I simulate. You see it's becoming thicker, but it's not that much yet. Okay, what if we do 200? Enter. Now you really see the material gained a lot of thickness. And this is how you are adding the different thicknesses to the material to be able to make them become more realistic and similar to your final concept. The next thing that you can also do, we learned about the pins, but you can also work with tacking. How tacking works is you have here on the left the tack tool. You long press on the left side of your mouse and you can select tack, and I could select this side of my pattern piece and this side of my pattern, and I simulate, and you see that they have been pinned together. It is important to realize that tacking is not sewing. So for example, if I wanted to have this be final in my design, I could also go to the internal line, which we previously used. I could add one here in the 2D window, click enter. I could select it, copy, mirror paste for example, because I knew I wanted to bring these two sides together. And then I can use my sewing tool. Since these are the same length, I can use the top segment sewing tool, and I can click on the first one, and then I can click on the second one, tap spacebar for simulation, and you see it will also stitch those points together. Yeah, so I will repeat. You can also add an internal polygon or line. So I could have also done this, enter. I could have also added a point. Let's go here at point. And then use the segment sewing tool and then select the line from, if I select it on the top here, I also need to select it on the top there, or it will cross. Okay, select it, enter, and it will bring the garment piece together. And you see now that the material was very flowy, and it's gonna make a 360. You can stop it, And then remember, we can click our selection tool and then we can reset to the arrangement. Maybe we think this is not a good idea to sew it like that. Go on top, I select my sewing tool and I delete it. I can do the same with the points. I go to edit pattern, select, delete, select, delete. And this way we learned 2 different ways to bring together the different drapings. The next thing that we will do is that we will try to drape these pattern pieces on top. The way that you do that is that you can right click after you selected them by clicking on one and then hold shift, selecting the other ones, and you can reset the 3D arrangement. Okay. Now you can deselect them. As we learned previously, you can turn it around